Yeah, I did see this. Apparently, Donald Trump wants to put us back in Afghanistan, which, sure, yeah, man. That's going to be like really popular. We should do that for sure. Who told him? Did Israel tell him to do this? Why do we want to go to Afghanistan? Afghanistan isn't even in the region. I mean, it's in the region. It's not in the region. Why do we want to go there? Do we want to bomb Iran from the east? We could not use Afghanistan as a staging point for any kind of action against Iran. The amount of equipment we would have to move to this airbase, like the amount of the amount we would have to bring there, the amount we'd have to stow and hide there, it couldn't be done. It would be insane to do that from Afghanistan. We'd be opening ourselves up to some wacky behavior. There are probably, look, Iran and the Taliban don't get along, but there are probably enough people in Afghanistan who hate us more than they hate Iran that they would make it difficult for us, you know? But why, wait, seriously though, why does he want to go back to Afghanistan? Like, who told him this? Who told Trump that we need to go back to Afghanistan? Where did he get this belief from? Second paragraph. If Afghanistan doesn't give Bagram Air Base back to those who built it, the US of A, bad things are going to happen. Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. He just wants it. That's it. Doesn't the Taliban want to work with the US again? I don't think so. Not that I've heard. Trump asked about it.
Mr. President, what goes into retaking Bagram? Does that require boots on the ground?
We'll see what happens with.
Yes. Taking an air base does require boots on the ground. Who else would operate the base?
Bagram, we're talking to Afghanistan. It should have never been given up. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country.
So you want to take it back? Is this just, wait, hold on. Does he not even have a coherent reason? He just wants to take it because Biden lost 13 men leaving it?
Reason to give it up. I was leaving Afghanistan. I was leaving. I was the one that got it down to 5,000 soldiers, but we were going to keep Bagram.
This is honestly, fuck it, sure. Bring Americans back to Bagram and have them die in suicide bombing attacks or whatever. Deal with that PR mess. Whatever. He said he wants it near China. That's bullshit. He wants this for ego reasons. That's total bullshit. This has nothing to do with China. Like we're gonna stage a first strike against a nuclear power from Bagram Air Base or something. Jesus Christ.
It's Afghanistan's Bagram Air Base. He mentioned the former U.S. military installation during remarks with the UK Prime Minister approximately 24 hours ago, yesterday. Just listen as he explains that despite the U.S. withdrawal from the country back in 2021, he wants the Taliban to give this back.
We were going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons.
Okay.
That is an important detail. CBS News national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata reported many times from Afghanistan. He joins us now.
Again, I think that's complete bullshit. The idea that we're planning, China already has hundreds of nuclear weapons. The idea that this isn't Iran. We're not, like, bombing Iran was bad enough, but Iran at least doesn't already have a nuclear arsenal. China does. In what world are we bombing China's nuclear production facilities? Like, why would we? Remember all of those like super paranoid propaganda videos we saw a little while ago where everyone was like, look at the top secret like government base China is building in case of nuclear war, and it was just like a normal like doomsday bunker that every major country has. They were like, yeah, what about all the concrete fortifications underneath so they can continue to operate in spite of a nuclear? Dude, we have that. Do you think you think we don't have bunkers underneath DC? You think the Pentagon and the White House and the Capitol building don't have like super secret concrete tunnels that lead down 4 miles underground where everything's heated by the Earth's mantle? And people are using like 1980s analog computers where they're pulling cassettes out and rewinding tapes and shit to keep operating after the end? Obviously we have those. Do you know how fortified the Pentagon is? The Pentagon is so fortified that it's still a common source of conspiracy theories, the fact that a plane slammed into the side and it barely did anything. You take a look at the photo of the Pentagon where the plane slammed into the side and it knocked off like one layer of wall.
From the Pentagon to put this in context. Charlie, great to see you this morning. Explain the significance of what Mr. Trump just said there, that he wants the base back and there are all sorts of strategic reasons for it.
I'm going to try. On the one hand, there are no surprises there. You know, President Trump has been lamenting handing back that base since the disastrous withdrawal of Afghanistan. He's criticized the Biden administration repeatedly for letting the base go. It's maybe a surprise that he mentioned it, sort of said breaking news, suggesting there's been some discussions, and sources that I've spoken to right after hearing that said, yeah.
It's probably not true. There's no need for those things to be fortified. Is that a joke? The Pentagon's 100% fortified. The Pentagon's a fortress. And it's a fortress within fortresses. It's like it's a super fortress. It's a super duper mega fortress, like the likes of which the world has never seen. There are probably a few buildings that are more fortified than the Pentagon. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think there's been like a YouTube tier list.
That's where it stands. They're discussing it. And I was there. As you said, I was at Bagram back in 2021 when the last shipping container was airlifted by chopper and the last of the U.S. forces pulled out. And it is enormous. It's huge. They're 2-mile-long airstrips. It sits in a corner of Afghanistan, not far from China, maybe not as close as the president would say, maybe 500 miles away. So there are all kinds of tactical reasons to want to get Bagram back. But it took more than 900 of those massive C-17 cargo planes to pull out. They destroyed a lot of the rest. The rest was handed over to the Afghans.
There's a presidential nuclear bunker under the Greenbrier Hotel in West Virginia. I mean, the God's honest truth, they're everywhere. And not just for the president. A bunch of wealthy American executives, basically everyone with power in the country during the Cold War, everyone was building them. Like, everyone thought, like, nuclear war could happen. You might as well have your own. And if you've got a couple, $100 million in your bank account, you can just build your own nuclear defense bunker, basically immune. You don't have to go that far under the earth to basically be immune. If nuclear war happens, these would be like big air bursts, radiation fallout. We're not talking about like nuclear bunker busters or whatever. You only have to go a little while into the ground before you're effectively immune to them. Oh yeah, I guarantee you Musk and Zuckerberg have them. 100%.
Afghan army, and as we now know, and this irks the president too, it's in the hands of the Taliban. So taking it back would be a huge military endeavor, let alone the force protection it would take. And the Taliban says, look, we're willing to talk to the United States, but any future military presence in Afghanistan is a no-go.
Yeah, no shit. Why the f would they give back Bagram Air? What are we going to do? Re-invade Afghanistan? Honestly, Trump, I'm putting my hands together. Please do it. Trump, please. Oh my God, please. We have found it. We have found an action that you could take that nobody would be happy about. Literally nobody. Nobody on earth would be happy with this. Even the MAGA base would be like, okay, dude, put boots on the ground, get them killed, okay? Just have fun with it, man. Somebody linked this. It is worth noting, by the way, that there is no such thing as free journalism at the Pentagon anymore. Hegseth now requires a pledge for reporters at the Pentagon that they not release any information they were not explicitly required to release or told to release. So effectively, there is no longer military journalism. Most transparent administration in history. This is actually insane, by the way. Normally, this kind of thing is done during wartime, right? Like, obviously, during World War II, you don't want journalists to disclose, like, oh, they're moving planes over here or whatever to the press. But now it's just always. I don't know how much this is actually going to do, though, because as Chad has already pointed out, this administration is so full of holes that even if info did leak out, how the f would you prove who leaked it? Maybe nobody from the core of journalists leaked it, but one of the 57 disgruntled officers who received the information leaked it to their private contact. Like, you don't need journalists to get this information out. It always, how many news stories have we read on stream that began with, according to a source that is being kept anonymous as they were unauthorized to disclose the information, X happened. This has been, it's like every story we get comes from the admin before it even makes it to the press. Probably something to do with recent war crimes being exposed. Nah. War crimes get exposed every day out of Gaza. No one gives a shit. I think it's more likely that he's just desperately trying to stem the leaky flow of information. I think he's just like, everything I do immediately makes it to the press. Everyone, you're now obligated to shut the fuck up. I don't even think it's going to do anything. If we are planning military action in Iran, Venezuela, or Afghanistan, he probably also wants to keep the lid on it so people don't know the extent to which we're involved. But I don't even know how much that's going to work, because every time we do anything, everyone already knows. It's really hard to hide stuff like that these days. Every time we illegally destroy a boat off the shores of Venezuela, they post it. Trump tweets it. New rules for the media saying those who fail to obey the new policy will lose their press credentials. Yeah, going forward, journalists must sign a pledge not to gather any info, including unclassified reports that hasn't been authorized for release. So even for unclassified information, they need to especially ask for permission to release it. That's insane. Yeah, that is insane. I don't think we did that even during World War II. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if it's unclassified, why couldn't you talk about it? This is what makes me think it's a panic move. Why would you leave information unclassified if you have a problem with the press discussing it? Just classify it. That's okay, NPR. There was ice on the table. They can't remove their nuts. That's true. Here, let's finish the little bit here.
Right. So what does this really mean then, Charlie? I mean, the president may have these ambitions and may want to reacquire Bagram, but he just pulled back on military aid for nations like Taiwan. Can you tell us what's happening there and what this means?
Yeah, so moving on to Taiwan, this is a particularly sensitive issue for the Trump administration and where President Trump is in relationship with Xi Jinping, because we're ahead of this United Nations General Assembly. There's a trade war underway. There's the TikTok deal that needs to be hammered out. And right now, from what I understand, it's sort of pressing pause on about $400 million worth of military aid to Taiwan. Now, this is a reverse of U.S. policy, and certainly the policy here at the Pentagon, because the United States has defended Taiwan, which, of course, the United...
Do you think Trump is biding his time in Venezuela to see if the region becomes more right-wing? I don't think this administration can commit to any real military action. They pledged so hard that they were isolationist, not our problem, not boots on the ground, etc. I don't think we can actually do it. Do you have any idea what an actual invasion of Venezuela would look like? That is not a soft target. Not even close. Even as unpopular as the Maduro regime is, it's all mountainous jungles. The population there does not like us, not the civilian population, certainly. We could reasonably be repelled in a conventional war. Or I guess to put it another way, there's nothing about Venezuela that would necessarily keep it from being like Vietnam. I don't think that shit's going to work, you know? I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see if we invaded one of these countries.